So, what drives effective humanitarian funding? That's the question that I, Charlie Hubbard, and my colleagues Eddie Liu and Adam Kablawi decided to explore. So, just a little step forward, we created a 3D interactive visualization platform, but we're going to tell you a little bit more about that later. So, we just used Jupyter Notebook to not only clean the data, but also explore the data, do EDA, and also implement our ML models. So we started with how much funding is allocated as a research question, and that quickly shifted to what actually predicts effective funding per person in need. So we took data from multiple sources, including additional data sets outside of the realm of the competition. We cleaned it, and we created our own variables, so need intensity, response coverage, and target efficiency, using the data and an algorithm, and then we transposed that into a score from 0 to 100 that ranked the countries, and then we calculated a weighted average of those scores and what we thought were good indicators to give the UN priority score, which is how much the UN should prioritize that country. Then we performed EDA and made lots and lots and lots of graphs. I think this graph in particular is really interesting. You can see the countries in the lower right hand of the quadrant are getting a lot more funding but have a lower priority score, whereas the ones in the top left are underfunded yet have a high priority score, with Yemen being a specific example of a country with a really high calculated UN priority score but a really low budget per person in need. And finally, we implemented machine learning models. So we created an algorithm and used ML to figure out the suggested allocation given the needs. We also used k-means clustering to group the data into categories. Then we used a ridge regression model to not only calculate the predicted funding intensity given the metrics that we explored, but also we plotted that against the actual values. And we can see Myanmar and Ukraine really highly funded, but I think this residual plot actually does it better. They show that they are very funded versus expectations. So yes, they're not causal. Our results are associational. They're limited outcome level impact metrics that we used, and we had just 2025 as our time horizon. But we had some major findings as well. So we found that funding follows existing response capacity more than raw need. So it flows to places that are ready to absorb it. Neglect severity matters more than the absolute need. And also, these pure need metrics alone can be weak predictors of funding. So to help explore this further, we created a visualization platform.
Is that a siren? I didn't know that it was illegal to make something this good. We are the United Nations Global Humanitarian Need Visualizer. Essentially, here we have a 3D globe that you can spin around. Don't do it at work, though, because you'll get in trouble. Now, if you zoom in, you have all the countries. You can click on any arbitrary country of your choice that is highlighted. Now, according to the data, it gives you some key metrics: population, people in need, targeted, reached, and it comes up with a composite score based on these. It does some algebraic manipulation, relativistic calculations, and it comes up with a need score. Now, that is not what's up here, because a need score is then k-means clustered with the budgets, the CBPF budgets, and it separates countries into 4 categories: high need, high funding, high need, low funding, low need, low funding, and low need, high funding. Now, based off that, it takes the composite score, multiplies it based on what the group is. For example, the highest group is, or like the high need, low funding is multiplied by 1.5, and it comes up with this final score in the top left. Now we have the top 3 unmet groups, which comes from the from the Global HPC 2025, and we also have a great AI assistant that will give you a lot of information, and it operates based off of the UN protocols, based on the prompt engineering that we've given it. And if you greet it, it will greet you nicely like any UN person would. We have the top 8 highest priority countries on the right side. We also have 2024, we have 2025, we have 2024, we have 2025. You can time travel with us. We're cool. We have an allocator over here, a funding allocator. Essentially, it linearly distributes the funding to the countries based on how severe their situation is and how much they need that funding. And there's the cluster breakdown over here. You can adjust it, and it will give you exactly where you should distribute the funds based on the data that the UN has allocated. Now, that is our project. We thank you very much. We highly recommend that you use it, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you.